Have you ever seen an error message pop up on your computer that looks like this, this, or this? Well, we have, and this is the story that we're going to tell you guys today about how we got scammed. First of all, I want to say thank you to the channel Owen Your Future for inviting me to tell about a story when I've been scammed, and I have a few other friends that are participating in this collab below, so make sure you check out their stories as well. But today I'm going to have my husband talk to you guys about a time where somebody in our family, a direct story about how we had a family member who got scammed by one of these error messages. And all of the shame and guilt and everything that comes with something like this, it's a really painful process when you think that something's going wrong with your computer, and the process that goes on and how these scammers fool you into thinking that you need to spend money to get a virus off of your computer. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the time over to my husband to tell you guys this story.
So I was asked by Jamie to share a brief story about the time my mom was actually scammed. It was a technical support scam on her computer. And she went to a website that might have been misspelled. I think it was Gmail. She might have mixed up the A and the I. And what happens is it takes you to a website that will have a little pop-up window at the very top, and will say, warning, your computer is infected, and to call this phone number immediately. But their goal is that they scare you enough to call that number. And she wasn't quite sure. She's not that versed with computers, and so she got my stepdad to help out. And he's fairly technical savvy, and he is he's the one who tried helping her with this. And so he calls this number, and everything they can sound very convincing when they call out. They've had a lot of practice. They've done this a lot with many different people. And what they'll try doing is they'll try selling you software that they have either acquired illegally or even legally, but they purchased with like gift cards that they've acquired from other scammed people. Virus protection service or something, a yearly subscription fee. There's a number of different options that they can take you through, but the big problem that people run into is in order to resolve these viruses that they have on their computer that aren't really there, they will be instructed to go to a remote desktop sharing application, usually TeamViewer or GoToMeeting or something like that. And at this point, this is where it starts getting a little hairy. Once the technician connects to your computer, and you're giving them the access, of course, for this, they can install a number of different programs. They can steal files off your computer. They can steal photos, anything. They can even take pictures with your webcam and everything. And in the end, we're lucky that all they seemed to do was to sell some software to them at a big markup and everything. But they also have instances where people will install rootkits into people's computer, which will make a way that they can access your computer without your permission. And this is how they can either lock down your computer, or they can mess up your files, they can delete files, they can do a number of different things. It's something that is very common, and when I approached my stepdad about this, I personally didn't know much about it. I've always kind of been wary about emails or different things like that, like the pop-ups. And when I investigated about what this really was, you see a lot of different cases of people that have gone through the exact same thing. And my stepdad was a little embarrassed, and it's funny because it's nobody likes to be taken advantage of, and I think that if I were in that situation, I'd probably be embarrassed too. But it's something that's very common, and even a technical professional, they can still run into issues like this. But you have to be very, very careful. Usually, never download, obviously, anything that you don't know what it is. Never open email attachments. And if you ever see a pop-up like that, I'd highly suggest closing your browser. And there's actually a YouTuber that I really got into after this. After this happened to my mother, I was kind of investigating, what this was. But he was this YouTuber that will go and call these technical support people, and his main purpose is just to waste their time, to make sure that he's tied up talking to them and not scamming other people. And one that really just breaks my heart is he pretends to be this 80-year-old woman, and this person on the other phone, the scammer, they don't care whether it's somebody's old grandma, innocent grandma, and stuff like that. They want their money, and they don't care how or who they have to hurt in order to get it. But Kit Boga, I'd highly suggest you go check out some of his channels. There's some language, but I really liked his approach. He kind of wastes our time, which you get a laugh out of and stuff like that. But at the end, he tries to kind of have a heart-to-heart with the person, where he's like, you realize what you're doing is wrong. Please change your life and everything like that. And I have a lot of respect for this individual for doing it that way. Because personally, when I was watching the video, I got mad. I mean, I was thinking, what if this was my grandmother? I mean, this happened to my mom, and I don't think I could hold it together like that. But I'll give a link to Jamie in the bottom. But again, just be careful. Some of the videos do have language, but it's very educational to watch some of the techniques that they use. But just be very, very safe, whatever you do. If you're not quite sure, just close it out. It's the best way to do it. And there's a lot of different virus protection programs out there, and I highly suggest use them. So good luck. Be safe.
So I'm... Okay, I love you. Yeah.